We start from the bottom of the heap, but only because this gentleman has not seen competition this year. We have seen him here at Road Atlanta, but it was quite a few years ago. But now he's bigger, badder, and more radder. This is the RADBUL, piloted by Mad Mike Wadette in his Red Bull Mobile 1 Nitto tire shrouded Mazda MX-5. Now this thing's twin turbo, 4-rotor. The thing sounds like an absolute spaceship coming to us from New Zealand. Gets way off of that rear clipping zone. Tries to tighten up, coming out of the keel on the horseshoe. Scrubs some speed, seeming to have a little bit of issues, a hiccup. But keeps it sideways, back up the hill. Keeps it between the lines. Round of applause for Mad Mike Wadette. That's his first official Formula Drift run of the 2015 season. So great to see him out here. And Mike, just such a charismatic guy. He already wins before the trophies are even given out, Ryan.
Yeah, here we go, taking a look at Mad Mike once again. Nice initiation right there. Good transition coming up the hill, good fluidity. You can see really on the throttle right here, maxing out the angles. He comes into outer zone number 1, but is unable to fill that zone. Comes off a little bit early, unable to get into that good positioning and that good line that the judges are looking for. Now coming back down the hill with lots of smoke on course, trying to position his way for this last inside clip, which he's able to hit pretty well right there and stays on course across the finish line.
You can kind of just see Mike, just a little bit of reservation just coming out of the keyhole. It seemed like just, you know, not the right gearing or something. But, man, I tell you, in practice, he did have some great runs. All right, Mad Mike Wadette currently sitting 28th. Mad Mike Wadette currently sitting 28th here in his deemed RADBUL twin turbo 4-rotor MX-5. Red Bull Nitto tires, iLab clothing, selling some exclusive iLab collaborations, featuring RADBUL in the camo livery. Here we go. Mad Mike Wadette for his second running of the RADBUL. Into that first front clip, popping and locking. Coming in hot, the rotiform spinning into that rear clipping zone. Whoa! The PPRE built 4-rotor from New Zealand. Man, the old Houdini flying down the track and back up the hill. Woo! Man, raising some eyebrows not only here, but also the Duke at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Look at that, even gaining some applause.
Yeah, I think what you see out of that run right there is full-on potential. If he can really lock in and dial in the way he wants to, he's going to be gnarly. You can see right there, he's on throttle as soon as he comes through. The first inside clip, great job right there. Tons of throttle up the hill right here. Very little e-brake, but he's not able to get completely into that zone. Does a pretty good job. That's where he makes a mistake right there. He has to adjust as he comes into that second inside clip. That was probably the biggest mistake that he made. And then another little one right here, trying to lock in on the angles. Isn't able to all the way. So some noticeable mistakes, but very aggressive driving from Mad Mike Wadette. Going to be, you know, one of the guys that you really pay attention to when it comes to tandem tomorrow, if he can make it in the top 32. Well, let's take a look at his score.
All right, so Mad Mike Wadette slides in a second with an 87. Second with an 87. A good showing for Mad Mike Wadette. Definitely going to keep him in, and we'll see him in head-to-head competition for tomorrow. All right, here we go. Moving on to our next battle, we'll revisit that Gooden and McCory battle. Now, Mad Mike Wadette, the RADBUL. Car number 123 qualified 8th yesterday. He's going in against a vehicle that should have a rotary under the hood, but now, courtesy of Sickie Racing, has a V8 under the hood of that Mazda RX-8. That's driven by Virginia's own Dan Savage. So Mike Wadette qualifying 8th will be out front. Dan Savage qualifying 25th will give chase. Here goes the debut head-to-head battle in Formula Drift U.S. competition for Mad Mike Wadette, or for any competition in this instance. The 4-rotor twin turbo MX-5 coming into the rear clipping zone, using the whole corners, tightening it up. A little bit of a hiccup there in the keyhole. Now coming out, scrubbing a lot of speed is Mad Mike. Now launching away. Ryan, in that, I really want to, when you dissect this run, You know, this is the debut, the maiden voyage of this vehicle in any competition, but take a look as he exits the keyhole. It seemed to scrub a lot of speed.
Well, here we go right here on initiation at the number 2 cone right here. Mad Mike really tight on that inside clip. Now watch Savage coming up the hill. I think this is going to be the poignant moment of this battle. A big straightening right there by Savage. He has to reinitiate. Mad Mike stays in line, goes deep into that outer zone here, and then nice job on that inside clip. Transitioning down the hill right here, gives a little bit back to Savage. Savage closes the door just a little bit right there, but that straightening up the hill, I think that's going to be a pretty sizable mistake for Savage, and then a little bit of separation here towards the end. So Mad Mike should have an advantage on that first run, and we'll see how he comes around here on the second run with Savage taking the lead, Mad Mike in the chase.
I know for Mike, you know, this vehicle, you know, it's an absolute beautiful looking vehicle. I mean, under the hood, if you haven't had an opportunity, it's just for you rotary heads or regardless, just, you know, techie guys, take a look at this vehicle. It's a great looking car under the hood, as well as just unique outside look aesthetic. That Mad Mike style, just drip style, as you know, it's a really cool car. Dan Savage, he's got the horsepower. Man, that car looks very settled. This should be an interesting. So we are as Mad Mike Wadette is on the start line, and Dan Savage, he is in the lead position. Mike Wadette, and we are getting word. Just to clarify, don't want to speak too soon as Mad Mike Wadette's spotter. Okay, it is confirmed. So it is confirmed. Mad Mike Wadette is calling a competition timeout. So we'll get Mike Wadette's vehicle off the start line. That means he has 5-minute allotment to get back to the start line in running order. Otherwise, he will have to forfeit this run, and Dan Savage will advance. So with a competition timeout, Dan Savage awaits on the start line. Mike Wadette gets hands on the car. 5 minutes. Otherwise, he has to retire from competition. When we come back, we'll see how this all unfolds here at Formula Drift. All right, so Mike Wadette is back to the start line. It's seeming that he's having a starter issue, and the car basically needs a jump start. I mean, this is the problems when you get those gremlins. You know, when you get a new car, Ryan, this happens. These are those last final details. Yeah, you know, the seasoned veterans, you know, that bring out the cars year after year. You don't see a lot of that, but every time you get a new car and you're working on something new, you have to work out the bugs. It takes a little while. Yeah, and unfortunately, you know, we wanted to see him at round 1 in Long Beach, but here he is. I mean, this is definitely more forgiving track, and I got to tell you, the way Dan Savage is driving, he's going to be a tough battle here for Mike Wadette. And having some words, he was absolutely stoked and just pumped to Sweet As, bro, to be qualified 8th yesterday, but he was wondering how is he going to be in head-to-head battles. I mean, you know, this is just a brand new car and a whole new build. I mean, from the engine to the chassis to everything. I mean, it's almost as wide as it is as front to back. All right, we are getting word that we are sending cars. The door closes on Dan Savage's vehicle. It's hot, man. I mean, that is a real factor here. You, the fans that are here, know it's hot. I mean, we got umbrellas, we got, you know, the easy ups up, but man, here we go. Dan Savage out front, Mike Wadette giving chase. Here we go. Coming to that first initiation, that first clipping point, Mad Mike swings wide, dropping his formation quite a bit back. Mad Mike Wadette dancing with the dirt, throwing up that signature red clay as Dan Savage threw the paces into that rear clipping zone. And out of the keyhole, Dan Savage, oh, look at that, a little bit of a hiccup there from Dan Savage. So unfortunately, as we said, Mike Wadette didn't know how the chase run would go. Don't think that's the way he had hoped it'd go. I want to take a close look at this. Mike may have thrown this one away. Let's see if he drops 2 tires here. He definitely gets 1 off. That's about 1.5. The judge is definitely going to have to interpret that, but that is very, very close to 2 tires off. So remember that big mistake that Dan Savage made in the first run. Mike makes, in my mind, you know, almost as equal of a mistake in the second run, and a little bit of sloppiness here through the rest of the run here. So a lot to digest for the judges. Both drivers making some pretty sizable mistakes in run number 1 and run number 2. Let's take a look at this one more time in slow motion, and we'll see if any dirt can pop up
from that left rear tire, that's going to be your signal for 2 tires clearly off course.
And regardless where Dan's vehicle was, Mike definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ryan? That left throwing up some red dirt?
It seems like it.
Yeah, I mean, slowing it down, that to me looks like it has 2 tires off. And regardless where Dan was, Mike definitely wasn't. So unfortunately, that's going to be a huge deficit in Mad Mike's chase effort.
We've got those 2 big mistakes from both drivers, and the rest of the run is, you know, definitely something to take a look at as well. But those are the poignant moments there. So we'll know how the judges interpret this here. It'll be interesting to see what equivalence they give to Savage's mistake on the first run. Is that equivalent to a 0? Does Mad Mike have a 0? Is this a one more time run, or was that just a big mistake by Savage and not necessarily a 0?
You know, unfortunately for Mad Mike, but I gotta call this one to Dan Savage. I mean, I think he had the right line, and Mike, he had a hiccup coming out of that keyhole to cause Dan Savage's mess up. So that's how I saw it. You know, I'm stoked for Mike to be here. He brings so much style, him and all his partners.
Dan Savage's mess up was coming up the hill, not out of the keyhole.
Okay, gotcha. Here we go. Dan Savage, Mad Mike Wadette, Andy, Brian, and Ryan. Here are 3 judges. Which way is it gonna slide? Andy, Brian, and Ryan tabulating their scores. Again, super stoked to see the RADBUL here. Just such a really cool car. And plans on competing on the remaining rounds of competition. As Mike Odette, obviously not the Stig, not getting the headshot, just fresh off the boat, fresh off the airplane, the vehicle flew. As Dan Savage and the Sickie Racing RX-8. Which way are they going to slide, left or right? Andy says Mike Wadette. Brian says one more time. And Ryan Lantain says Mike Wadette. Mad Mike Wadette gets the win. Mad Mike Wadette advances on car 1, 2, 3. Mad Mike Wadette advances. All right, so we're going to get to find out and speak to the judges. So wow, you know, another interesting story here is that Mike Wadette, his vehicle needed a push start from the start, but Mike Wadette advances on one more time to 2. Mad Mike Wadette. Ryan, do you have any clarification here as far as the judge's verdict?
Yeah, well, the judges did give a 0 to Mad Mike on his second run, but they also gave one to Dan Savage for straightening on his second run, whereas Mad Mike did not have a 0 in his first run, so that's why at least Ryan Lantain went with Mad Mike Wadette.
Where was the correction in particular? Was it up the hill or
exiting the horseshoe?
Exiting the horseshoe. Okay, so Ryan Lantain saying that exiting the horseshoe was the mistake that Dan Savage had. So Dan Savage is knocked out. Mad Mike Wadette advances on in that Red Bull Nitto Tires quad rotor twin turbo. The math works out where he advances to the top 16. All right, Justin Pollock being towed off course here, and man, so obviously bigger issues than we even anticipated. But as Mad Mike and Forrest Wang are on the line, our very own Lorette Nickel had some words with the Kiwi.
Years since you've been here at Formula Drift, and it's been quite a journey. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, this whole project to come back to Formula Drift, we started this little MX5 last year, and I wanted for the fans to show everything that goes in the development and the professionalism to build one of these pro spec cars. So, you know, we started in December. The car is now here. We tried to get it to Long Beach, then the ports of Long Beach went on strike, so we've had to finish the car, get it on a plane, get it to Atlanta. We drove literally from LA, so 3 days straight with me and my buddies from Rad Industries, been helping us out a lot. So it's been quite the journey to get the car here for sure.
And you have a really unique car. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, well, it's not so unique in New Zealand. I mean, we're known for rotaries, big power, and you know, that's my knowledge. From a teenager, I've had rotary engines. love the sound and it's the excitement and just trying to keep the whole circus alive and drifting. And you know, this car's just so fun. It's deadly fast. It's still frightening me over the weekend. We've been trying to slow it down a little, actually. It's just too much grip. But I'm having a blast. You know, like yesterday we qualified in the top 10 and now through to the top 16. I'm just ecstatic right now.
Now, you guys had to call a competition timeout. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so my lead run, we went out, it was we're pretty solid, but with the rotor, we've got big power, but still low torque. So a lot of clutch slipping involved, and I just cooked up the clutch too much. One of the plates is welded itself to the flywheel, literally had no clutch, and coming back to the grid, car just stalled out, and not allowed to push start the car unless you have a 5-minute timeout. So unfortunately now, we have no more 5 minute for the top 16, but you know, we're just happy even just to be here. You know, so we've got amazing crew and just the best support. Everyone back in New Zealand supporting us. It's yeah, good feeling right now.
Best of luck today.
Thank you so much.
Jared, back to you.
Well, there's the RADBUL. You've seen it built, and now here it is in the sheets, in the sheet panel, the panel sheets, the body panels, whatever you want to call them. Here he is in the flesh. Mad Mike Wadette will be leading Forrest Wang in this head-to-head battle. In that Red Bull Mazda MX-5 on Nitto tires, as Forrest Wang getting us laboratory hand-cooked tires. 2JZ S15. Here we go. Mad Mike Wadette out front. Forrest Wang giving chase. Little feint entry. Nice initiation. Forrest Wang actually mimicking that initiation. Mad Mike Wadette. Oh, look at Forrest Wang getting into the dirt. Mad Mike Wadette bringing it into the horseshoe. That outside clipping zone. Crawling through the horseshoe is Mad Mike Wadette. Forrest Wang. Great composure from Forrest Wang on that horseshoe. Make some noise for Mad Mike Wadette.
Talk about a tough vehicle to drive behind. And right from initiation, you can see Forrest Wang tries to tuck in right here. Look how close he gets to Mad Mike, but all that smoke coming up. He panels all his way through it, drops a tire right there. Mad Mike does a great job out front. Forrest straightens just for a second right here as Mad Mike goes deep into outer zone number 2. Forrest Wang coming up on the inside, trying to take a little bit of the line away as Mike goes wide on that inside clip. Now coming down the hill here, both cars very, very close together as Mad Mike's on that inside line, just putting up plumes of smoke. A great battle right here in the top 16.
Man, you know, I got to say, the last battle between Dan Savage, there were some interesting calls, but right now I think that was just an exemplary run by Mad Mike out front. Forrest Wang, I liked his composure here on the latter part of the track. That was just a real good example of not giving up. Yeah, Forrest Wang, you know, bobbled there on initiation behind Mike Wadette, got into the dirt, but then kept it together throughout the horseshoe. Now Forrest Wang, he's really going to turn it up. He just drip style as well. I mean, because both these guys, very stylish drivers, very just smoky, long-standing burnouts. You know, we'll see. I mean, this should be fun. Here we go. Forrest Wang out front. Oh, look at that big feint in front of Mike Wadette coming to that first front clip. All right, Forrest Wang turning it up the hill. Look at that, leaving Mike Wadette in the dust. The angle from Forrest Wang into that rear clipping zone, firing off. Both these guys. Look at Forrest Wang working the pedals. Look at the smoke covering the track. Woo! Oh, doctor, look at this. An absolutely insane run right now. Somebody call the fire department. Unreal. Yeah, I just say one more time because I want to see him run again, selfishly.
Well, you can see right there, both guys definitely want this run. It was a close battle on the first run right here. Mad Mike gets up right on the inside of Forrest Wang. Forrest does a great job right there. A little bit of a shimmy right there from Mad Mike. Straightens out just for a second. Little bit of separation right here. Look at Forrest Wang on the throttle right there, popping a huge, just an amazing amount of smoke out on track. Then a little bit of separation right here as Forrest Wang comes back around. Mad Mike digging as fast as he possibly can as both drivers cross the finish line. An incredible run from start to finish by Forrest Wang and Mad Mike Wadette.
Dude, sick run. All right, real quick, how many people think Forrest Wang should advance? All right, that was good. How many people think Mad Mike Wadette should advance? There's only one other option, and what is that? What? I can't hear you. Did you say one more time? So how many people think they should go one more time? My challenge is to have you guys lose your voice, including Taylor Swift over there, by the end of the night. Forrest Wang, Mad Mike Wadette, Here we go. Sliding left for Forrest. Sliding right for Matt. There's one more time. There's one for Forrest Wang. And Brian says, one more time. They're going at it again. It's a one more time battle. Ryan, I couldn't agree more. I mean, just with those mistakes by Forrest Wang in that chase position, and then with Mad Mike Wadette, you know, him chasing out Forrest Wang, I think there was, you know, some points, you know, if this was qualifying, left out there on the track.
You know, Andy did go with Forrest Wang, and I can definitely see the argument for that. Mike did lose a little bit there towards the end, but there was some good back and forth there. You can tell both drivers want it, and either way, I think, you know, the fans want to see it. It's very clear.
Yo, selfishly, even like, Forrest won. Nope, I want to see him go again. Just see him tear up and burn. I mean, dude, that's the look at the smoke still lingering like an eerie cemetery in Halloween. Like, it looks creepy. But the beasts are just the engines. You got this 2Js. All right, whatever. We'll revisit it. That's the best part. So here we go. Mike Wadette. Mad Mike Wadette will lead. Forrest Wang giving chase through that start chicane. And here comes the Rad Bull. Wow, aggressive feint entry by Mad Mike Wadette. Ripping away Mad Mike up the hill. Here comes Forrest Wang. Mad Mike lacking the angle, now bringing it into the horseshoe, tightening it up. This is where Forrest Wang really shined last time, Ryan. Unfortunately, right now, he does not have the proximity. Bringing it back up the hill, makes some noise for Wadette and Wang.
Well, Jared, going back to that first run between these guys, you remember Forrest Wang was much closer on initiation than he is right here. He gives a little bit too much room to Mad Mike and allows Mad Mike to kind of run away a little bit right here as Forrest Wang tries to close the gap right here. But Mad Mike, so much horsepower, a lot of grip in that vehicle, does a nice job right there. Hitting that outer zone, comes off a little bit early though. And then you can see right here, Forrest Wang losing pace just a little bit with Mad Mike Wadette, who comes up on the inside, transitions to this last corner going up the hill, and then Forrest Wang follows him in tow. So now Forrest Wang and Mad Mike will switch places. Forrest Wang taking lead against Mad Mike Wadette.
Wow, look at the smoke just looming. Everybody blow really hard on the count of 3. Ready? Let's clear the smoke out of here. Everybody blow, exhale as loud and hard as you can on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Dude, you didn't blow hard enough. Didn't work. Didn't blow hard enough. I didn't see you blow hard enough. All right, we are sending the cars. Here we go. Forrest Wang will now lead as Mad Mike Wadette will be giving chase on the second half of this battle. All right, where are my 2JZ fans at? Under the hood of the S15. Look at that feint entry. Mike Wadette dropping into formation. Keeps his composure, heading up the hill. Woo! Mike Wadette gets lost in the smoke, firing off. Both these guys on it, in it to win it. Wadette swings wide, comes to a halt. Mike Wadette. Smoke, dust, fire. All the elements are here at Road Atlanta. Are you kidding me? Make some noise, Atlanta.
Well, we definitely saw a difference in this match than we did on the first one. Mad Mike comes out super aggressive right there, almost touching wheels with Forrest Wang. Coming up the hill, he loses a little bit of pace right there, gets lost in the smoke. He's on throttle right here. Forrest Wang tries to go deep into the zone. Now watch Mad Mike on this transition. He swings a little bit wide and overcorrects right there, gives Forrest Wang an opportunity to run away with it. If Mad Mike doesn't win this, he's definitely won the hearts of the fans here tonight. It's an awesome addition to the series, and he's put on an amazing performance. But Forrest Wang is able to stay consistent through both runs.
Just such a nice guy, such a good dude. Him and his family. Tony back at home. Link, I know you're watching, cheering for your dad. I think it's over now, but a great maiden voyage for this Rad Bull. There it is. Forrest Wang gets the win in that one more time battle as Mad Mike Wadette gets taken out, but man, the Get Nuts Laboratory 2JZ S15 advances on to the Grade 8. Ryan, a killer battle.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 2 of the series finest. Great to have Mad Mike in his maiden voyage here. in Road Atlanta after missing him in Long Beach. An incredible dude, and he put on a show for the fans. I expect some huge things from him this year, as he's going to be along not only for the domestic series but also for the World Championship.